you're working a full-time job, right? In your case, as a consultant in the hospitality industry, you're helping nightclub owners open up and run these venues, right? And you have a thing in your head that you want to do. You're sort of already towards the tail end of that journey, working for somebody else, where you're like, all right, I sort of have gotten to see them do it for a few years. I've built up my confidence. I have this idea. I think a lot of people wonder, how do you get that idea started while you're working full time?
I was in between consulting contracts when I started my own thing. And I actually was planning on taking my next consulting job while I was running my own thing. So I was going to try to do both, which is what I would almost suggest anyone to do, unless you have the means. I mean, this for me is 100% a financial question. So for me, I just happened to be in between consulting contracts. I had put away enough money where I could survive for a couple years if my thing didn't work. Mm-hmm. My partner, was my girlfriend at the time, was going to continue working. So she'd put up half the money, I put up half the money. We were going to be partners. It just made sense for one of us to sort of jump into it full time, and that was me. But that was only because that's the way the situation worked out. And I contemplated, I'm always the guy who's scared to death. And this was sort of the first leap that I had taken. But I had been so scared of getting fired and so scared of not having a job that I've been very good with my money. So I'd put away a decent amount of money where I could survive, where I wasn't going to be out in the street with a cup in my hand, which is how I always pictured myself.
So the cliche advice, don't quit your day job.
I would never quit, because I find you can, especially in today, depending on what your business is, if you were to ask me now, like I would always try to validate my business with, 1 or 2 hours a day working on it while you keep your day job. I mean, people have a whole bunch of responsibilities and financial issues, and so that's my...
Yeah, that's essentially what I did is, on my lunch breaks while working full time, I would work on the business. And I found that, say you get that hour, right? What do most people do? They'll go out for a bite, they go out for a smoke, they'll dick around on Facebook. And I found, like, why not just not do any of that and just take the hour to sort of sneak off and do your thing and come back. And I would sort of do that day after day until, like, it added up bit by bit. Like I would do on my 1 hour break, I would run out and I'd buy equipment that I needed for my business just to have. I start sort of like buying the essentials that I needed.
But there's also the flip side.
Yeah.
To me, it's 100% a financial issue. What if you were to work on your business 8 or 10 hours a day, but then you worked this 4 or 5 hour shitty job at night, you drove Uber at night to pay the bills. Like, it's one of two ways. Do I keep my day job and work on my new project 2 hours a day?
There is something about doing your thing full time that can really fast track it. Takes a lot of discipline.
It's financial discipline to me.
And then I think there's something that happens in your brain when you work a full-time job that pays you a certain amount. You decide, well, shit, I got to treat myself. Like, I work hard. I got this job, pays a certain amount. I got to go take this trip. I got to treat myself. And people end up doing so rather than seeing it as, hey, this is just money coming in that I could just bank to then use as an emergency fund. Founders sometimes buy back their own company to recontrol your company. I've always seen money as buying back your own time.
If you're trading your time for money and you're using that money that you make from going to work to buy stupid shit, you're fucking dumb. That simple. And you're going to end up... Now, if you...
Keyword stupid shit, though.
Okay, stupid shit. Shit you don't need that doesn't move you forward to impress a bunch of other people that you don't give a shit about anyway. You're buying stupid shit that you had to actually go to work for. The model for everyone's very simple. We all work jobs where we trade time for money. That money that you have left over after you pay the government, after you pay your expenses, should solely be put into, how do I create a business that gives me passive income that makes money when I'm not there? So every dime that you spend on the vacation, on the car, on all the bullshit, hey, when you make money when you sleep, go buy the Lambo. When you make money when you sleep, go to the Caymans. But if you have to trade your time for money, you're behind every time you do that.